Ever wondered how our ancestors communicated with the dead? Buckle up, history buffs, because we're about to embark on a thrilling journey through time and space to explore 7 ancient civilizations that believed they could chat with the deceased. Let's start our adventure in ancient Egypt. Nestled along the Lower Nile River in Northeast Africa, these clever folks believed that when someone died, their personality and spirit stuck around. They believed that if you didn't take care of the dead properly, their shades, called etamu, could get pretty cranky and vengeful. But if you kept them well fed with offerings and clean water, they'd stick around to protect and guide you. They believed their ancestors were still active members of the family, capable of putting in a good word with the gods on behalf of the living. To keep in touch, families maintained ancestral shrines, offering food, wine, and incense. The Shang dynasty even had court diviners who would inscribe questions on ox bones or turtle shells, then interpret the crack patterns as messages from the other side. They even had special necromancers called Mun, who would use chants and rituals to summon and question spirits during regular kispu ceremonies at family tombs. The Aztecs believed that while the souls of the dead journeyed to Mictlan, they could pop back for a visit during special festivals. These folks were all about the circle of life and death. They believed in the immortality and transmigration of the soul, seeing the dead as part of nature's ongoing spiritual cycle. Their druid priests acted as go-betweens for the living and the dead. During Samhain festivals, when they thought the veil between worlds was thinnest, they'd commune with their ancestors. They've even used decorated skulls for pouring libations at sacred wells and tossed votive offerings into bogs and springs to attract ancestral spirits. To welcome these ghostly guests, they built elaborate ofrendas or altars, held candlelit vigils, and laid out spreads of food, marigolds, and personal items. It was like rolling out the red carpet for their spectral relatives. They called these the Ba and Ok, and thought they needed to be fed and cared for, just like the living, to make sure these spirits could talk back and get the respect they deserved. The Egyptians went all out with elaborate rituals. From Egypt to China, Rome to Mexico, our ancestors were pretty creative when it came to keeping in touch with those who'd passed on. It just goes to show that no matter where or when we lived, humans have always been fascinated by the great beyond. They mummified bodies, performed the opening of the mouth ceremony to give back the senses, and used spells from the coffin texts and Book of the Dead. Now let's hop over to ancient Mesopotamia, in the heart of the Tigris-Euphrates River Valley. These folks were serious about keeping their ancestors happy. Next stop, ancient Greece. Picture sun-soaked islands and rocky peninsulas along the Mediterranean. The Greeks thought their dead hung out in the underworld, ruled by Hades. But here's the kicker. They believed you could call them up for a chat. They performed Nicaea rituals at spooky places like the Necromansion of Acheron in Epirus. These involved sacred springs, nighttime fires, blood offerings, and special chants to summon ghostly shades for a Q&A session. Let's zip over to ancient Rome. Centered on that famous city in the Italian peninsula, Romans also believed the dead had some serious insider knowledge and that with the right magic, you could make them appear. Archaeologists have found some wild evidence of their necromantic practices, like human remains, oil lamps, and weapons in the Tiamim cave near Jerusalem. They used blood sacrifices, cursed tablets, and spoken invocations to summon and interrogate the dead for divine insights. Now, let's journey east to ancient China, where early Bronze Age dynasties flourished along the Yellow River. The Chinese had a unique take on the afterlife. Crossing the ocean, we land in the heart of the Aztec civilization in the Valley of Mexico. Finally, let's wind up our tour in the misty lands of the ancient Celts, stretching across Gaul and the British Isles. So there you have it, 7 ancient civilizations that thought chatting with the dead was just another day at the office.